Heyo. Good morning, traders. How's it going? Morning, Shirag. Morning, Prath. How's everyone doing? Give me 1 second here as I get situated. All right. Let's start off with a quick economic calendar, just so we know what's going on for today. But nothing much, right? For Tuesday, ADP weekly employment change already came out. We don't really have any red folders. We do have unemployment claims on Thursday and flash manufacturing PMI on Friday. But we are in earnings season, right? So a lot of big techs, the Magnificent Seven, are reporting this week. So be mindful of that. Quick review. Let's go through the NASDAQ first, and then we'll finish it off with ES. So with NASDAQ here, I mean, you're just within a range so far. You bounce off of this was Friday's PM support, right? And then as you can see here in the afternoon session or after close, right? Globex open. You got a bounce there, and this is crazy move. Seems like we need to start trading Globex, to be honest, or overnight. Look at that move to the upside. It was just clean. Very clean. So keep an eye here. I'd I'd be careful in trying to short or being aggressively short um, around this level as long as we hold this 29K, right? This was your Friday's high. And then, I mean, you can see it here as well in yesterday's price action, right? You kind of got, it was having trouble trying to keep up, trying to get above that price. So, and then in the overnight session, as you can see, you pushed up, kind of bull flag, supported that 29K, and you got another push. So 29K to 29,050. Keep an eye on that. We'll use that as confluence in today's session, right? So if you want to play the ES, let's see if Nasdaq can give us some, kind of clues that it wants to bounce or it's stabilizing. All right, and last but not the least is going to be the S&P 500. So, um, beautiful setup in yesterday's price action, right? We got that bounce uh, on ES, right, from that 7,500, and we caught it for about 15 points. And then I talked about that low volume node, which I posted on X, right? We had a beautiful rejection off of that low volume node. I think that was kind of like two A+ setups that presented itself in yesterday's price action, right? So for today's session, let's do the same thing. Just stay patient. Um, the key level for today, I'm gonna mark this green, right? As long as we're above this level, right? This is actually a low volume move from yesterday's session, right? This acted as a resistance in the PM, and then overnight we kind of had some rejections there as well, but we reclaimed it. So 7496 to 7500, that's going to be key for me. As long as we're above that, we're looking for ways to be long, right? But we don't want to initiate a new long position above here, right? I mean, to me, it's a low probability. Unless we see some very good confirmation, meaning that we see some large trades happening, we see some absorptions, or some low volume nodes for a continuation to the upside. All right. So again, 7,500 to 7496, 7495. That's going to be my bullish case. Bearish case, we'll see. We'll see for today, right? 7530 to 7540. This could be an area, still the same area for a potential short opportunity, right? As long as we're trading right below it. All right. So let's start prepping up here. Market already opened. But again, we don't really take trades in the first 15 minutes of the market open. Some large trades there at 7530. As you can see, after printing, we're getting some rejections here as well. So let's see here. That's a pretty aggressive rejection there at the 7530s. And that's also your overnight highs, right? 1, 2, and then you're getting a print there. Let's see how that develops. Same thing, guys, as yesterday. Stay patient. Also, let me know if the volume on, like the music volume is loud, so I can turn it down. Welcome, guys, to the newbies. Do I have any Discord community? No, sir. I don't think I'm gonna be opening any Discord anytime soon. It's too much work. Now we got about 26 people watching here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Um, if you haven't done so already, can you please smash that like button and make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't done so already? We'd greatly appreciate it. We're growing really fast, guys. Which is pretty awesome to see. NASDAQ, let's keep an eye on this one. Give me 1 second, guys. You're also getting a lot of big trades right at that 29,190 and 29,200. And we're kind of reclaiming that level right away. So I don't know if you guys noticed. Remember the last couple weeks, NASDAQ has been the relative weakness, right? And beginning of this week, NASDAQ has actually been leading. So that's one thing to note for this week. We're starting to see, kind of a shift in the leader. Looks like NASDAQ is starting to kind of lead here. And then ES still sustaining, but seeing some sellers there at that 7524, right at that opening price. Again, where is price right now? In our with our areas of interest, we're kind of right in between, right? So if you're going to initiate anything, make sure you size down, given the fact that it's between our area of interest. Our area of interest is 74.95 to 7,500, and then 75. Let's just call it 75.32 to 75.40. Initiating in between our areas of interest is kind of low probability in my opinion. Also, what's everyone's what platform are you guys using? Are you guys using the same one, Motivewave, or are you guys using something else for trading? Let me know in the chat. Sierra chart. Love Sierra chart, but I just hate how it's so old school. There's kind of a learning curve with Sierra chart. No resting liquidity above 75.30. There's one at 7550 and 7548. Those are the big ones. Motivewave and Trade C for execution. Wow, you're running Motivewave and Sierra chart? You must have a a setup. I'm also going to look into deep charts. Right, I see a lot of people using that, a lot of influencers as well. I mean, it looks nice. Well, I'll start playing with it when I have time and compare it to Motivewave. I heard some good things about it. Deep charts has a lot of bugs. Pricey. So if you don't want to try, so if you don't want to pay for the subscription, I know it's right now it's I don't think they have monthly, right? They only have quarterly and yearly or something like that. My Funded Futures provides free deep charts subscription, just like how Lucid gives free subscription to Motivewave, right? So if you buy a challenge from them, from MFFU, if you want to try it out before paying for it. But you don't get big trades. Interesting. Oh, so it's probably just level 1 data, huh? Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, so I'll look into that. I'll let you guys know. What's going on with my chart? Give me 1 second, guys. Scaling. There you go. Pull back to 7,500 plus long all day. We'll see. Hopefully we get some good confirmation there. I mean, that's going to be a good long area. And we'll use NASDAQ as well, right, as confirmation. So if ES comes down to that 7,500, let's see if NASDAQ can also bounce off of this 29,000 to 29,050. That could be your kind of a confluence trade, right? We'll put an alert there. 29. Let's put 2960. Took shorts at 7522 out of VWAP. Good stuff. What did you see there at 7522? Was it that seller there at 7524? I mean, that's actually a good confirmation there as well. But I just, for me, I don't trade in the first 15 minutes. But that's a good confirmation. You got a trap buyer at the 75.30, and then followed by a seller, and you're also right below this opening price. I mean, that's a good scalp. I'll put my level drawing on other chart for Motivewave to high time frame to low time frame. I don't know what you mean. Like, do you have multiple charts open? I think you got to link them. There's a setting for it. I forgot what the setting is. I'll look into it later. This is a valid low volume node, guys. So I'm going to remove this level. You see this? You see this low volume node here between 75.12 to 75.14? That's kind of the same level as yesterday, right? When we were watching that 75.12 to 75.15. That's also your developing low volume value area low for today's session. This low volume node will be validated if we get an aggressive move to the downside here, right? I don't like it. I don't really put a lot of emphasis on low volume nodes that just, price goes down there and then just consolidate right below it, right? Without making like a large move. That's just based on, the trades I've taken on that low volume node setup. All right, orb, 15-minute orb is now formed. You got your highs and lows there, 75.05. Highs is 75.30. Now we start paying attention here. Here's the current view for the heat map. We got some limit buys sitting at 7,500 to 7,505. Not a huge, nothing huge, right? Of an order around 120 to 100. The big one is at 7,470. That 7,470 has actually been sitting there since the overnight session. Like, yeah, last night I think it was during Asia and London Open. Okay, 200 lots sitting at 75.03. 200 lots, limit buy sitting at 7503. Let's see how that 7503 limit buy gets filled and see the reaction from there. I don't know if they're going to spoof that though. Starting to see some aggressive buyers here, right around that 75.15. All right, pay attention to this, guys. New information we're seeing right now, right? 75.15, as you can see here. Aggressive buyers stepped in, and guess what? Immediately got rejected. And then you're seeing these limit sells coming in as we're getting rejected there. One piece of information that we can use there that's also inside the low volume node, right, that we've established. You kind of wick right above it and immediately got rejected. Not an actionable trade for me currently. $75.03 liquidity is still there. Watch Nasdaq here at this prior high, 29,192 to 29,205 area. If we see some rejection there, and I see some large aggressive sellers on ES within this zone here, I might take a stab here on ES for a scalp short targeting 7,500. I'm gonna put an alert there on 29,195 on Nasdaq. Are you guys seeing anything? That's about the only thing I'm seeing right now so far. Again, I'm trying not to jump too quickly into the on this short trade since we're really close to that 7500, the 74.95 demand zone. Waiting for now? Yeah. Short of 7512. Stop myself out when 6 points only. Yeah, I mean it's good to scalp. Just scalp from here. Like if you're in between the zone, right? I mean it's if you see something, I think it's a good scalp area. Wow. We have about 35 people watching here right now. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys haven't done so already, smash that like button and subscribe. Welcome to the community. We are growing. NASDAQ getting a little bit of a selling pressure here. You're about to test the low day, which is right around that 29.95. If you look at the right side of my screen, this is the NASDAQ. Again, the area of interest that we have is the 29,000 to 2950. Sorry, Demi Banks. I don't know why it blocked you because it's a long message. But your question was, what's the best way for collecting data and build your system with order flow? Assuming it's not like the other concepts and everything is more limited and paid. How do you backtest and build something? Um, to be honest, backtesting with order flow is kind of hard unless you have a system that or you have a platform that does that, right? Does the replay. Bookmap has it, but you got to have a premium with them. Um, but I think learning in real time is the best way to learn. But I would start with ES, right? Start from the beginning, right? Learn first learn price action, right? Like just basic support and resistance, candlestick formation. And then after that, once you understand that, right? Market option theory, or once you understand that, then you can start diving into, the order flow. Like what is volume profile? What is footprint? What have you So my footprint is delta by price, right? It's the difference. It's the difference between uh, bid and ask. So if you see blue, that means there are more aggressive buyers than sellers, right? Not don't get it confused with more buyers than sellers, because that's not the case. I view it as if it's blue, right? That means there are more orders hitting the ask. So that is bullish, right? There are more market buys. And if it's red, there are more market sells. Not seeing much. I am watching. You can ask questions, guys. Good questions so far. I'm also watching the price action, so nothing really right now. Big trades filter settings for ES is 150. All right, so here's the heat map view. Well, first, pay attention to this, guys. 7518 delta profile buyers, right? Aggressive buyers. You can see on the heat map as well. See these bubbles here, blue and green. Those are aggressive buyers there. Sitting. This came in at 7518. Let's see how that reacts. Let's see how price react at that level. There's a triple top at the overnight high, screaming to get taken out. Yeah, that is a triple top. What's happening? I just need someone to show its hand, whether it's buyers or sellers. I need something to kind of pop out. Right now, nothing currently. There's liquidity at 7530, but not significant. 7530 and 7532. There's some liquidity there. This might be traps. These might be trapped buyers here at the 7518. Remember, it's building up here, guys. Right? The 7518. It was 600, now it's at 818. I just need some reaction here. I need to see some strong push to the downside. Right? If to participate in this short. I'm gonna remove this area now. I'm just gonna mark the 7518. Split 7518 to 7520. Need to see some aggressive move to the downside here. Or away from this zone. I mean, either side. I mean, either we're going to see up or down. And then we'll play that retracement. Right? We'll play that retracement. Are we just gonna chop here for today? Please don't. Let's get 1 or 2 good trades today. $7,518 getting rejected there, as you can see, right? So you got those aggressive buyers there, 7,518. Push down, retested, 7,518 rejection, 7,518 rejection. You're kind of getting supported here at VWAP for now. I just need some aggression here on either side, whether buyers or sellers, to move away from this zone for me to play the continuation. Two-day VWAP just below today's. We have good support so far. Yeah, I don't really use I only use session VWAP. But I know some traders that uses it on a multi-day or multi-week. Good area to gauge. Interesting here, guys. Interesting here. Aggressive buys again at that 75.1 above 75.18, and you're getting some passive sellers, limit sells sitting right there. That's one of the things I look for. This might be an early entry, right? We're not getting the confirmation yet, but I might take a stab at a short here. Again, just looking for a quick scalp into possibly the. I want to see how it reacts to that 75.08. If that 75.08 breaks, I think we can see low day into that 7,500. So keeping an eye here. Again, you'll see my entry on the screen, right? You'll see me execute it if I get in. It is not financial advice. Please do not copy my trades. NASDAQ about to break low day again. So you got close to that 29,192 that we talked about, guys, right? And you got rejected. My alert was at 29,195. You didn't hit that. Another rejection there at the 75.18. Buyers, not trap. You don't short. Well, typically, yeah. Typically, the setup that I look for is absorption, right? So there's two setups that I usually play or strategy. It's absorption and low volume nodes. right now we are seeing that absorption here at that 7518. As you can see, delta buys building here, and yet price cannot break the session high or the current pivot high, right? That's an absorption type of setup here currently. But I'd like to see a move away from that zone. If I take the trade now without getting that confirmation, because the confirmation I look for is a move away from that zone, and you look for that retracement, to play that downside, you would size down. Right now, you're getting that rejection currently. We're about to break that VWAP. Would you say that there are trap sellers at the low too? Nothing that I saw. You're talking about the 75, yes. So the 7508, there was some activity there between 7508 to 7506. Nothing significant, but that would be your confirmation for a breakdown, right? If 7508 breaks here, that to me, I think we might see a new low day and possibly 7500 target. So that's what I'm eyeing at right now. That's the setup. Right now we're getting that rejection at 7518. Right? Buyer's absorption. Now I'm just looking for one more confirmation here. It's either a move away from this zone for a retracement, or an aggressive seller coming in. So you can view it, you can see it either on footprint or the heat map. I try my best to kind of show you what I'm seeing when I see it, right, in real time. Today's just pretty slow. So you see here in the heat map, guys, right? So there's some passive limit sells sitting here at the 75.19 to 75.20 currently. Just want to give a summary again on what I was seeing, right? Aggressive buyers at 75.18. Push price down, bounce at VWAP. Right? Another test at 7518 to 7520, and guess what? What's price doing? Getting rejected, right? Aggressive buys here, and yet what is price doing? Cannot break above. So that to me, we're starting to see some absorption here. There's a passive seller that's kind of resisting price. For me, it's not an actionable trade for me yet. I need to see confirmation, and my confirmation is a move away from the zone, or some really aggressive sellers coming in. Testing the 7518. Again. Pay attention to this footprint, guys. Look at this. Negative deltas. This is a tick range chart. Just call me AC. This is a tick range. Why not? You're asking why not tick or volume chart. This is a tick range. This is by 20 tick range. I'm gonna try this short here, guys. Stop loss is gonna be above 7521, 7520. Looking for a 7500 target. You're already making the move here. Confirmation would be the 7508 break. It's already up. It's already up almost 5 points. And I'll show you what I saw. But again, this could bounce here. We need to see a 7508 break for continuation to the downside here. Again, 7508 will be the confirmation for more downside. If we bounce at 7508, I might take it out. Again, we're just consolidating, right? We're ranging right now. Sellers are trying to attempt here at 7513. They need to start pushing here, or else they're going to get absorbed. Watching 7518. We're getting a little bit of a push up here now. Back to break even. We might get stopped out here. Stopped out there. Position was up about 5 to 6 points and just got. So this was the setup that I talked about it, right? Give me 1 second here. I might take a long stab here. Give me 1 second. Again, we're using this 7518, 7520. There's also an aggressive buyer there at 7526, right? 7525 here, as you can see. You can also see it on the chart. Big trades. Here's the heat map view. Very aggressive buyers here, right? So the reason why I shorted earlier was, I mean, it was the same analysis that I talked about, that 7518 to 7520, right? As you can see here, the confirmation was these aggressive buyers came in and yet price could not break above, right? That was my initial short. We were up about 5 points, and then I saw this seller, aggressive seller at 7512, 7513, and that guy got squeezed. That's why you got that push up. That's why I was saying, hey, there's an aggressive seller here. We need to break below 7512 for this to get some continuation, but again, they got squeezed out. So now I'm still looking for the same setup. I'm still looking for a short here. If we break back below 7520, I might initiate another short. This is still a valid short idea. Now we're getting trap participants at the top, right? Trap buyers here, trap buyers here. I want to see an aggression below 7520 to 7518. Some aggressive sellers trying to step in here at that 7520. All right, I'm in again, guys. Stop is going to be above the opening price, 7526. Same plan. I might look to add into this if we start breaking below 7518 to 7515, or even below that VWAP. I don't like how that 7518 is acting as support now. I would like that to break. Morning, Leo. We need sellers to start stepping in here. Just watching price right now. There's just no aggression on the short here. We need to see aggression here now. I don't like how price is hanging around here. This means that we're getting price acceptance, right, to move higher. I would like to see some aggression here for sellers. We need to push back below 7518. I don't like how we're hanging around here. Yeah, I think it wants to grab the liquidity at 7530. Yeah, I got stopped out there, guys. 2 tries. I get one more try, right? 2 losing trades. I get one more trade here. And if that loses, that's it for me. This is still a valid short. I think I'm just having a I think we either need to see a swipe of the 7530 to break below, right? If I'm gonna be long here, uh, the 7518 to 7520, if this can hold, then I'll look to play the long there, which we currently are. Nasdaq testing that 29,200 now. Untapped buy imbalances on overnight high. Yeah. There's some liquidity there right now, around almost 200 lots at 7530, and then there's about 135 lots at 17532 that just got filled. Big orders just got filled there. About 790 sell order there got filled. Nasdaq is also at the supply zone here, currently rejecting that 29,200. I'm gonna try to be patient here and see some reaction first before getting in. Some passive sellers are now stacking in here. I might wanna, man, this is the setup that I look at, that I look for. But those last two instances that I got into, right, on that short, I didn't wait for the reaction. So I'm taking that information for me, right? I need to see a reaction before getting into it. I need to see a move either up to the upside or to the downside here now. I think my next plan would be, if sellers are present here, I'd like to see a push down into, it's got to be the 18, guys. I don't know if shorting above 718 to 7518 to 7520 is valid. I think it's a low probability. I think for right now we're looking for longs as long as we hold this 7518 to 7520. 246 on Nasdaq. Yeah, that's the high a day today. That's also your orb high. One more trade for me, guys. I took 2 L's. Again, trying to short these absorptions here. The first one, we were up about 5-6 points. And then just reverses back up. And then I tried it again here at that 75.26 rejection. Got stopped out again. So this is going to be my last trade. And the last trade that I'm looking at is going to be either a long inside this 7518, 7520, or a rejection. I need to see sellers. I need to see multiple confirmation here. I need to see a move, a rejection first, and we'll look for that retracement. I don't want to get faked out again. Aggressive buys there at 7536. Again, this is a low volume node. The top is 7540. Initial balance has not been formed. Like, look, this is the setup that I'm looking at. This is the A plus setup. I will take this any day. Aggressive buys is the same setup as yesterday. Aggressive buys followed by aggressive sellers, right? As you can see here. Let me just aggressive buy, rejected, followed by aggressive sellers, and then limit sells coming in. Now I just need to see him move away from the zone, right? Aggressive sellers. I need to see aggressive sellers. Maybe below 75.30, right? Because that's your triple top from the overnight session, right? 1, 2, 3. If we can trade right below that, we'll look for a retracement. And you're getting a bounce at that 75.30. Rejections there at that 75.32. That's where your large negative delta came in, as you can see in the footprint. If I take this trade, my stop loss is going to be above 7540. I think I'm going to give it a little room. I might stop out, but the plan is having my stop loss at 7540 or above 7540. I'm going to give it a little bit of room and probably going to scale into this position. This is the reaction that I want to see, right? We're getting the rejection now. I like that. Aggressive buy there at 75.29. If this guy becomes trapped, I'm going to get in. Aggressive buy there at 75.29. If that guy gets absorbed, as you can see here as well in footprint, right? Buy side delta. If that guy gets trapped or becomes trapped, I'm gonna take a trade here. Testing that level currently, building 230 now. I'm in a short here. You got filled at 7527. Aggressive followed by aggressive seller there that came in. If 75.18 to 75.20 acts as support here, I'm going to get out. Need to see pressure here. Pressure to the downside here. We do not want to bounce it. This is the opening price. We do not want to bounce here. More aggressive sellers, but they need to start pushing down. I don't like how aggressive sellers are coming in and we're stalling here. I don't like that. I'm not seeing aggression here. Might cut this early. Testing that 7528 where I saw those buyers becoming trapped. 7528, 7529. Currently at break even. Come on, sellers. Do you have what it takes? Getting some aggressive sellers here now. You need to push through. Watch this 7520. 7520 needs to break. Looking to see if we can get 7515. Right? And then if 7515 breaks, I'll go for 7508. We're up about 5 points here now. Again, this is where price may bounce 7520 to 7518. That's where we saw those that activity. Right? You can see on the candlestick formation as well. Rejections at that level. And then you push right up. Here's the push down. Here's the 7520. Keep an eye on this one. This is where price may bounce, guys. Getting a bounce here. We need to see 7528 to 7530 to act as a resistance here. Or else we might take high day. That 720 bounce was crazy, man. Maybe I should have just scalped that, right? Another 5-7 points trade into red. Aggressive sellers there again. This needs to push down, or else we're gonna take out high day. This needs to reject here at 7530. Sellers are attempting here, guys. Sellers are attempting here, as you can see here in the delta. They're really trying. Oh, stopped out there again. Um, again, I was up 5 to 7 points. Same one on that first entry. Just not getting continuation here. I think I'm gonna avoid the short here now. You did get that 7520 bounce, right? You got into that and you bounced right through. I just didn't see any indication to exit out, to be honest. That's why I didn't exit out of that 7520. I really didn't see any indication. How are you guys doing? Did you guys take the trades? Do you guys long, short? Do you join me on the short multiple times? Short yes here. Too long, stop at break even. Yeah, it's if you're gonna long 7518, 7520, that's gonna be your area, right? I think that's a good risk to reward there. Stop below 7518. If you're gonna short, try to get short as close to this low volume node here, right? I mean, that's where I tried there. I mean, this is the trade that I will take honestly 10 out of 10 times. It's just not getting any continuation here, right? Bears are non-existent currently. We're getting good entries, like literally good entries. It's just, I guess we gotta adjust the way that we take profits. Here, we're getting another sell. This is where I would take another entry here. Like I would literally take another entry here on this short. But the thing is, what's the range? 7520. I think we need to put a stop at 7540. Nasdaq just broke high day. Same thing with ES. Look at that. Imagine if I tried shorting there. I would have been instantly down, what, 5 points? 5, 6 points. And now getting rejected. I think the plan for today, I'm gonna look to scalp my way out of this red. I'm down about 18 points for today. I might break my rules for today, having 3 losses. I usually stop. Just very choppy. Wasn't the third loss break even? No, it was a 3 to 5 point loss. So the first trade we were up about 5 to 7 points, got stopped out. The second one, another 5 points there, right? And the third one, 5 to 7 points presented. I even commented about how I should have exited out at 7520 if it bounces. I did not. So I need to adjust my mentality today and how I like my plan on the exiting side, right? I need to be conservative on the targets if I'm shorting. Nasdaq trading at the overnight high and the opening price. You're kind of just hovering there. What what cons do you recommend for 250K for micro and MES? For 50K, again, this is not a financial advice, but when I was trading 50K, I would do no more than 10 to 15 micros on ES, because my risk on the 50K would be on the aggressive side 300, right? $300 per trade, so that's about 7 points on ES if you're I think if you're grabbing 5 to 10 micros, if I'm not mistaken. So my stop loss, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my stop loss is always fixed. My stop loss is between 5 to 7 points on ES, right? And my take profit is between 10 to 15 points. You can review the previous live streams. That's always been, the case. I always have a 5 to 7 point stop loss with about 10 to 15 points take profit. So close to 2 to 1 risk to reward, or 1 to 2 risk to reward. I mean, so you're risking 1 to make 2. So if you're trading 50K, just base your positioning on your stop loss criteria. So if you have a 5 to 7 point stop loss criteria, right, you need to kind of adjust the dollar amount based on that. So if you're only willing to risk $200 to $300, right, you're gonna adjust it on how many contracts you're gonna grab. Does that make sense? You got to give yourself room. You got to give yourself at least 10 to 15 trades on those PAs. At least 10 to 15 trades, at least 10 trades before you blow the account. So for the 50K, you have the standard is what, $2,000 drawdown, right? So for me, I would risk $200 per trade. So that's about 10 trades. So I have to lose 10 straight trades before I blow the account. And this is where the data comes in, right? So if you're journaling your trades, right, you got to look at your win rate percentage. If you're a 70 to, let's say if you're 60 to 80% win rate, right, that's good for you, right? 10 losing trades is 10 trades is good for you. That means you're gonna pass the account within how many trades? Just do the math. For me, I'm trading the 25K, so I'm risking about $75 to $100 per trade. I really want to short this. But again, this is higher low, higher low. Are we going to bounce at that 7526 for a higher low here? Right? Because, I mean, the market structure, right? Higher highs and higher lows. here's the setting for the session profile. So if you look at the volume, it's volume imprint, general, right? Nothing is checked in. I put regular trading hours, data only. Tick interval is 2, and you go at the drop down menu, summary profile. You click show summary. The type is delta. You align it to the right side. Your width, you can change it however you want. I usually have it on the 30-minute. I don't know why it's on a 60-minute. I usually have it on a 30-minute. I want to short this. Getting a little bit of an absorption there in the cells. I'll show you bubble window settings. Here's my bubble window settings. Minimum trade is 150. Max days that I want to see is 3 days. Minimum circle size 25. Max circle size 65. Opacity is 55. I mean, you can change it however you want. What does aggregated by period and aggregated by order? Where is that? It's so if the order comes in really fast, it's gonna aggregate it within 100 milli. If it's a bit within 100 millisecond, it's gonna aggregate it, meaning it's gonna put it all the orders together. Right? I don't know, guys. I want to short this, but it's higher highs, higher lows. Nasdaq trading at a high day, just hovering. It could be. It could be, Leo. Right? So you got those aggressive orders here, sell orders, and price bounce at the opening price. Right? You can view that. That can be your bullish thesis, right? And also your. I mean, look at the market structure today. Higher highs, higher lows. But to me, I just can't bring myself to long this at this level. I'm just, and seeing how price is kind of struggling, and that you're also hovering around pre-market overnight highs, resistance, rejection there. That is also where you got a lot of rejection there at that. Remember, this is where we shorted with that low volume node. So I don't know. I just can't bring myself to long here. $60 or $75, DK. If we tap into 7520 to 7518 again and it's supported, this is where I'll long, right? And if we see some aggressive buyers stepping in, that's where I'll long. And I'll look for, you know, a 7530 to 7540 target. There's another big seller there, 500 lots. This red profile. Jeez. This is going to get absorbed here. You're also seeing it on the NASDAQ, right? Sellers there as well. Here's the aggressive sellers coming in. If you guys are short, be careful of that 7520, 7518. That's where you could potentially bounce. That's also where VWAP is. Really? Can you hear me now? How about now? Good. Is that better, Leo? Hello, 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 hello. Well, you guys gotta let me know early. Don't be scared to tell me, hey, it's like, hey Ross, get your mic up. How about now? Mic check, mic check. Hey Ross, get your mic up. There you go. Say it with your chest, Ross. Say it with your chest. Yeah, so that's my thought process for today. And the reason why, I mean, I understand that my short buys is kind of hindering me from taking a long position here, right? So again, if you're bullish bias, it's valid. I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, this is a higher high, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Unless that structure is broken, which is going to be broken at 7518. Bulls are in control. For bears, for me at least, right? I just can't long. If you look at the bigger picture here, this is my bearish thesis. I just can't long at resistance level. I just cannot. I cannot. I said this right at the beginning. I just cannot long where price has been rejecting. And now I'm being a little conservative with trying to get in a short position because of that last 3 trades that I took. Although I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't consider those 3 losses an actual loss, because that was a setup that I actually look for, and those are, and you know, presented about 5 to 7 points, which was my initial target, right? I was just hoping for a continuation. Welcome, Chuck. Another bounce there at 7520. Not all setup, right? Not all setup are. I don't have a 100. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't have a 100% win rate. I will always keep it, a buck with you guys. Always keep it 100. 3 losing trades today. It was based off of absorption. Would I take that trade again? Based on the outcome that we got? Yes, 100%. I will take it. It just didn't work. But look, I may want to enter. I don't know. I think if I'm gonna enter here, I gotta enter near the low volume node, like above 7530 for a potential short, right? We'll look for rejections here. Maybe a failed high day break, or a sweep of 7540 where it immediately gets rejected right below 7535, 7534. That could be another idea there. Thinking bear trap. I honestly, there's no bear trap. There's no bear trap, and I mean there is a bear trap. Yes, it's valid unless 7518 is broken, right? Bulls are in control. I hate to say it, but bulls are in control above 75 as long as 7518 to 7520 is supported. If you guys were here with me since the morning session, we talked about the 7518 to 7520, how orders were coming in within the zone, not just based on candlestick formation, but based on order flow. What orders were coming in at that zone and why it's important for us. And right now, as you can see, right after we got a push up above that 7520, 7518, what's happening? You're finding support each time. So that's going to be your bull line in the sand, right? That's your line in the sand. 7518, 7520. Why are you short bias? I just said it, right? Because we're inside this zone here, and I'm seeing some bearish price action. I mean, we're also below yesterday's high, right? You're still below yesterday's low volume node. If I was going to be long bias, right, it would be with, inside a demand zone 7496 to 7500. This is where I would be looking for a long. And with new information that just presented itself today, right, the 7518 to 7520, that's also another area. Here we go. Aggressive buyers coming in here at 7530 to 7533. NASDAQ high day. I don't have any level on the NASDAQ here until 29,300. And then above 29,300, 29,400. I'm looking for one more trade here, guys. I'm really looking for this short idea. Maybe we need to see a tap of 7540. And again, for long, it was at that 7518, 7520, which I kind of missed because I had a short bias. Getting that push now. More aggressive buyers coming in. Any other questions, guys? Since we're just waiting here for the setup. I might also just call it a day for today. Macros is so strong right now. Is a short still valid or just a scalp? Short is still valid as long as 7540 does not break. For me, right? This is where I'm looking for a short inside here. I'm not looking to short below that level. Above 7530 to 7540, this is where I'm looking for a potential short. Where I'm looking for a potential long will be below 7518 to 7520. Right? So that's your zone. That's your two zones that we're looking at right now. Right here. So anything in between, I'm not trying to initiate. Chalk said, first time here. Can you tell me a bit about yourself? How long have you been doing this? Success rate, goals for your stream. So I've been trading for since, or I got introduced in 2018, but I didn't really get into, day trading until 2020, which is during COVID, right? I think everyone did. So I started with options, pretty successful with it for about a year and a half. And then in late 2021, that's when just things started going downhill. I lost about close to six figures actually in 2020, late 2021 to 2022, and then that's when I start, taking things seriously. So towards the end of 2022, um, that's when I was kind of introduced into order flow and supply and demand trading, and that's when I started, kind of finding traction in my trading, and I started becoming profitable in mid of 2024 to 2025. And then from there on, I got introduced to futures, right? Early 2025 or late 2024. And then I've been trading my personal futures account and prop firms ever since. I've had about, I think, 8 to 9 total payouts so far, with combined with Lucid, Tradeify, and MFFU, my funded futures. And the goal for the stream is, I mean, I honestly just started with Twitter, right, or X. I just started posting my recaps, and then a lot of people liked it, and they wanted me to stream, and I tried it. So I've only been streaming consistently, right, live streaming consistently since, what is it, guys? April, May? No, actually June, right? Late June. And I've been loving it so far. Been loving it so far. Just want to build a community. 1 month, yeah. Of course, man. I enjoyed your you guys' company here in the stream. It also helps me, be accountable for the trades that I take. It is absolutely a learning curve, though. But I'm starting to get there. I'm starting to get, not thinking too much about, if you guys are following my trades, which you guys shouldn't. Chuck said, from my point of view, is so far so good here. I like your approach. It doesn't seem like a typical streamer stream. There's actual content. Yeah, I mean, it's good to, like other contents, like, like there's, you know, part entertainment mostly, right? And some of it is trading content. I mean, I think that's fun, right? But for me here, I tried it to be entertaining, but I focus more on the market and actual trading. It can get boring, but that's what I'm here for. Is 7540 being spoofed? No. I mean, there's definitely some sellers there, passive limit sells, but they're not spoofing it. There is an order at 7550. It's still there. It's been there since this morning. Yeah, I might just call it a day for today, to be honest. Not really seeing much here. Look at these aggressive sellers here at 7538. They're really trying. And there you go. There's the 7540 break. More aggressive buyers there at 7539 to 7540. Yeah, I think we might test that 7552, which is your prior high. There's your push. Pay attention to the footprint. Look at this 7539 here. Negative delta is starting to build there, 300. And yet price is struggling to break down, right? Someone looks like it's absorbing those sell orders at 7539. Still a little early to tell. Let's see how that develops. Jump speaking? He wasn't even scheduled today. He's speaking again? There's no time. It's a 20 tick range, DK. It's not based on time. It's based on the range. So for every 20 tick that price moves, it prints another candle or whatever you want to call this. Yeah. So you can see those delta imbalances clearer, right? Rather than if you're doing it um by time. Because you want to see it print, and then if it moves on, on either direction, you'll see it, right? Instead of it, you know, it waiting for the 5 minute to close, right? So that kind of it's hard to see on a time chart. I'm gonna wait here 5 more minutes. If I don't see anything, I think we're gonna call it a day, guys. I'll post on X if I see anything for the afternoon session. Hey DJ, appreciate it. Welcome, 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 welcome. Yeah, so I am getting a lot of messages, right, from like on Twitter to kind of asking me to create a Discord community. Um, the reason why I don't want to do it is just one, it's gonna take a lot of time for me to kind of manage, and two, there's gonna be a lot of like I don't want to invite anyone that's not serious, right? I don't want to just do a free Discord like or an invite link posted on my on my X for everyone to join. If I'm gonna do it, I think it's gonna be a private community. Obviously, I'm not gonna be charging. I just I'll do probably like a screening process just for people that are actually active, right? That want to have a community to talk to about order flow, about trading. Like, I don't want to have anyone there that's not active. So I'll think about that. So let me leave uh you guys with this, all right? Market current structure is higher high, higher lows, obviously bullish, right? Unless unless this seven if this 7522 to 7518, let's just call it 7522 because we got some large trades there as well. Unless this is broken, be careful in trying to short. If you're gonna short this price action, just look for those 3 to 5 point move, right? Scalps. But again, the trend is to the upside. The easiest trade is going with the trend. So key areas that you want to look for is 7530 to 7534. That could be a potential bounce area. And then again, that 7518 to 7522. Be careful at the prior high, right? Between 7552 to 7556. That was your last week's kind of pivot area. So if you're long still, that could be your final target, and we might see some stalling action there at 7556 to 7552. All right. As always, guys, have a good one. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning. Have a good one. Peace.